What is up? This is MGMH episode 1. Metal Gets Me High. I'm Al. I'm one of your co-hosts. And these are my co-hosts as well.
I'm
Brad
Brad.
and
What's
Razor.
going
What's
on?
up?
Ramon right here.
Heck yeah. So we just want to, start a show talking about the music that we love, metal, all sects of it, hardcore, just heavy music. And on a heavy note, one of our soldiers of this music recently, passed, and that's Trevor Sternad of the Black Dahlia Murder. Shout out to that band. Their band I've seen more than pretty much every other band. I think Lamb of God's my top band, and I've vinyl and all kinds of shit. Memories of them, and it's sad that we lost a guy who loves metal as much as that guy.
Yeah, that guy. He definitely put his stamp in metal. He advertised all the up and coming shit. He was a real connoisseur.
Yeah, you take
Definitely.
those young guys out on tour, headlining those small shows, people that couldn't make it all the time, he'd always have a seat for. So just a good guy all around.
Definitely, and he's always repping band shirts, and I know for him to be on social media and on Metal Injection, Metal Sucks, recommending smaller bands where, I watched the video, been kind of looking into his, his interviews and stuff, just, see how, I always knew him as a happy guy, like as far as that, so it was a surprise when that happened. And, some of those interviews, you could tell that something's weighing heavy on him, and it sucks. But we just all gotta, check in on people. If you feel like there's something going wrong, because you never know, right?
Yeah, that shit comes out of nowhere.
That shit came so fucking quick. That was like a T-bone in the intersection right there.
It really was.
Bang.
I was just at work, and go check out some news, and that goes, and I was just like, my jaw dropped. I was like, what in the hell? Like, that is so unexpected. It was definitely a total bummer, and I hope the band is okay. I know obviously it's hard. They're gonna have a grieving process, but hopefully those guys could figure something out as far as their music endeavors, because they deserve to keep going. They're a kick-ass band.
Nah, fuck yeah, I agree. I mean, they put out some fucking heat the last couple albums.
Yeah, definitely. My personal favorite album by them is Ever Black, because that was where I got introduced to them with In Hell Is Where She Waits For Me. Just in reading the lyrics, like he makes all this terrible shit sound so eloquent and like beautiful, and like it's crazy, but it's cool.
Yeah, he is good at that. He's very good at making dark shit sound fucking just easy.
That, and then like you read these lyrics and you're like, dude, like there are so many words in a 3 minute and 47-second long song. Like he's going at it really fast, and he's one of those guys where he was able to do the highs and the lows, and that's a tough task. So usually some guys are better at some things than others.
Yeah, he hit the note on highs, lows. The guy killed it. I mean, we watched him live a few times, and I haven't seen a bad set from him.
Definitely not.
Famous for the basketball shorts. Loved it.
Oh, dude, it's definitely cool.
Yeah.
So I recommend listening to as much of them as you can. Just kind of not forget his memory, and they were consistent at putting albums out like every 2 to 3 years, and they're right in that time where it's getting close to them putting something else out. So it's a bummer, but like I said, hopefully those guys can carry on.
They tour a lot too.
They do, man, and something Trevor talked about is they always like try to keep the expenses low, and like there's 5 guys in the band, and they split it 5 ways. I don't care who's been in there for how long or what they bring to the table. It's 5 ways, and that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's crazy. He
all
was
bands
actually
aren't like that.
No, definitely not.
he was actually he was starting a podcast. I found out today. I was just kind of scrolling through some shit, and I can't remember the name of the podcast off the top of my head, but he was 2 episodes in. You know, it was the last one was released maybe a week ago, you know. So it's I need to check that out, definitely, kind of see what's up.
It was actually just his birthday too, a few days ago. So I think he did it right after his birthday.
Yeah, I think it was May 3rd or May 2nd was his birthday, so pretty crazy. And you know, I could think of a band that I learned from him, and that was Necrot. I saw him wearing a Necrot shirt, and I was like, let me see what's up with this band if he's repping them. And the song "The Blade" by them, as soon as I heard it, sold. I was like, okay, this is just some good freaking death metal, and it's 3 guys, so it's some caveman, but really good stuff.
Just fucking you gotta let a caveman live, as Josh says.
Well, on a lighter note, and kind of speaking of caveman metal, we just recently went to a show. Got to check out one of my favorite bands, and another band that's becoming one of my favorite bands. Gatecreeper was the band that we saw. The headliner, Chase Mason, along with the other boys in the band, they kick ass. Even I don't know for sure, but Chase seemed to be a little under the weather, but he still killed that set. He powered through it, and he's a beast. And then 200 Stab Wounds, man. I know Ramon's pretty passionate about that, so I'll hand it over to you. Just
fuck, man.
What was your take on them, man?
Let me tell you, I thought that everybody killed it that night, and I am a huge Gatecreeper fan. But god damn, 200 Stab Wounds, they stole the show for me. I mean, from beginning to end, you know. Of course, they were playing stuff off of the latest album, so it was all, I knew all of it, and oh man, it was heavy. It was just as heavy as I thought it would be, if not
fast.
Yeah,
it was fast.
I loved how like they have a really good and you hear it live, like they had a good mesh of like different kind of genres, styles, where it was like thrashy in some areas where it felt slayery, and then in some areas it's like super grindcore, like Napalm Death, where it's just blast beats playing as fast as you can, and then you would just get these outrageous moments of groove. And like I've been fucking with them heavy lately. That Slave to the Scalpel LP they dropped has been heavy in my playlist for like the last 6 months, and to see them live was cool. And they're definitely a band who I feel like they've got they're climbing right now. And
after their set, all 3 of us who went down, because they gave us wristbands to let us in and out, you know, as much as we wanted. So we went to the car, smoked a joint, and as soon as we finished the joint, we saw, what's his name, the singer,
Steven.
Steven, yeah, Steven. We saw him at the bar. So I was like, ah, damn, I gotta go, you know, talk to this guy. So immediately went up to him. I had to buy him a drink. Had a few minutes of his time, and he was cool as hell. I mean, he's a bad motherfucker. He was also telling us to look out for some new shit that they were going to come out with here soon. So, you know, they said that
it was pretty cool.
He was saying that's going to be a hard and heavy album coming out.
He was a cool, chill dude, super down to earth, and it was cool to get a little insight where he's like, yeah, like we were thinking about playing some new shit, and we're like, we're gonna make the fans wait. And you know, when you put out an album last year, it's like, just, you know, play the stuff you got, and then, you know, when it's time, release that stuff. And I'll definitely be listening. And shout out to them, because I really wanted to walk out with a 200 Stab Wound shirt, and they were pretty much sold out of all of their merch. So shout out to them. That seems to be a good thing.
You know what? As we were there, because we try to hit the merch booth early, before any bands went on, they were sold out. I was like, you know what? I got to get one. I went on their merch site and immediately ordered a shirt. They're not just badass, but that logo. God damn.
Yeah.
It's one hell of a logo.
It is, and they, like I said, they're young, man, and they mesh those different subgenres well. I think that I'm excited to see what else they bring as they mature, because they surely aren't at their peak yet.
No, hell no. I mean, they're such a young band. I mean, they've got one album out. Two? Is it two? One?
So they have one LP and one EP. So they have one full length release and one, just kind of demo-ish type stuff.
That's an early band. I mean, they have a long road ahead of them, and from where they stand now, I mean, it looks pretty clear.
Yes.
They're on the fast track up. I mean, Max Cavalera, and he took him out. With
early in their career,
Soulfly, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, that's how I found out about them. Kind of searching online, I saw that tour, and I was like, "Who's this band?" And somebody in the comments was like, "You know what? They're really." If it specifically said, "Oh, if you like Gate Creeper, you'll love this band," so I was like, "Let me check it out." And it was cool being able to tell Steven that, like, when I first heard Toe Rope Around the Throat, it literally felt like I got kicked in the stomach, and I told him that, and he chuckled and started mouthing the riff. It was pretty dope. It was a cool little interaction.
Yeah. I was like genuinely pleased that he was such a down to earth guy. I mean, he didn't just say, "Oh, thank you," I appreciate it. He gave us like what, five minutes of his time.
Yeah, he was exactly. And that's
shit,
cool.
bud. You got him a double.
Double James. Shout out.
Got to take care of our dudes, that are out there on the road, man. It's a tough gig, living in a van, and probably not getting much sleep. It's props to them, man.
Yeah, we watched. They have an episode out on YouTube with it's band life or van life or something like that.
Oh, okay.
They just did a tour of basically their
rig.
band. Yeah, their rig, and shout out that's a hard life to do, especially across the country.
Man.
In a express van or something like that.
Freaking support the bands you like. Go out there.
That's true.
Go to a show. Freaking, buy a T-shirt. Buy something if you can, and that's how everyone comes back around.
Yeah. Speaking of going to a show, Al, I mean, I want to just touch base on the venue we went to.
Oh, dude, that place was sweet.
Holy shit.
The Starline Social Club.
Yeah.
I had that written down here. I wanted to touch about it. Because when we first got there, anyone that is from Oakland, they know how Oakland works, but we're not from Oakland. So
no, we're not.
We go up there and we're immediately, a little sketched out because it's kind of in the hood.
Yeah. But we kind of dabble our toes in that.
Yeah. This venue actually blew me away. It was upstairs to a little bar on the corner there, and about, what did you say, 350, 400 cap place?
Yeah,
and the sound in there, that there was no bad place to stand in the little spot.
We were standing in the farthest corner, and it was for most of it. We were standing in the farthest corner, and it was fucking phenomenal. I mean, great view. The sound was great. Yeah.
And yesterday, Napalm Death and Pig Destroyer were there, and that would have definitely been a killer show at a little venue like that. That would. That would have been.
I feel like there would have been a little bit more of a crowd, just due to the names on that bill versus. And none of the Geek Creepers not a huge band or anything.
No, they're not. They don't have a history like those two bands where they've been doing.
Of course,
it since,
before we were born.
Napalm Death are freaking. Grindcore gods. They're such an inspiration to so many bands, and Pig Destroyer being a huge grindcore band in the East Coast too. That's it's no doubt a tight show, and at a venue like that, I think the next show that I saw that's there that'll be a cool one to hit is in September. I think Full of Hell and Blood Incantation are going to be there, so that'll
would be a
probably
fun one.
Pretty sweet show. So.
Man, anytime I can get a ticket there, I want to go, because that
agreed.
That was cool that was the first show I've been to where you can just freely walk in and out of the venue and, you know, go to the cars, roll up a joint and smoke it on the way back. You know, that was genuinely one of my favorite experiences at a
quite
concert.
Nice.
Agreed. Because usually, you know, I feel like a lot of times we hit like Ace of Spades and SAC or UC Theater, these places that's like, you know, 1,000 to 3,000 people, pretty big places, because the Bay Area, people love their metal. Same with SAC, and that was the first like more, you know, intimate show, I would say, and it blew
first
me
No
away.
Barricade show.
Yeah.
First No Barricade.
I didn't see maybe not one security person there, maybe one.
Yeah, there's one. And I'm interested. We'll be hitting another show today. It's Sunday night, but we're gonna go on Wednesday to see Dying Fetus, Undeath band. I'm really excited to see Frozen Soul, Chelsea Grin, and your favorite Razor Body Snatcher in Roseville. And
I'm looking forward
interested.
To some Body Snatcher.
I'm interested to see this venue too. I hope it's that type of place. And, you know, I think it's gonna be a kick-ass show. Lots of different tastes there, and I'm pretty pumped.
Yeah, and the variety of music that's gonna be there. It's all the bands are solid.
Yeah,
you know, and they all have a different sound, so it's you know, it's not gonna get stale. It's not gonna get boring. So that's one I'm really looking forward to. And hey, we got to get there fucking bright and early, because
I don't miss a second of Undeath.
There's no way I'm missing a second of Body Snatcher. Fuck, dude.
I think you won't have to worry about that. I think they're the third band up, but I want to see Undeath, and they're the first. I think that's gonna be
Undeath. Still, I don't want to miss
a sick show.
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun one, and that one's, you know, same distance essentially as the Oakland show. What's that? 2 hour drive, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's gonna be a 2 hour drive. It's gonna be you know, that's the one thing about where we're from. You know, it'd be nice if, you know, I live in the Bay Area. I feel like realistically I could hit a lot more shows, but it's the fact, you know, you got to take 2 hours a lot of times to get somewhere. Hour and a half, and then
we live in Farmtown, California. That's
so
it's the middle of California.
An hour drive, no matter where you look at it, and we're fortunate because it's only that far. I'm sure there are people out there where it's like, man, 300, 400 mile drive. So we're fortunate in that regard, but you know, it's like just this weekend, man. Hit that show on a Thursday, see Behemoth in Berkeley on Friday with Arch Enemy and Napalm Death and two others, and then go see Napalm Death and Pig Destroyer, and then Suicide Silence was just in town recently. So it's cool to see that a lot of bands are back out on the road, man. And
yeah, there was
that.
Man, that hiatus, you know, for the last couple of years. Holy shit, that sucked. I remember our first concert back. It was. Man, it was something I didn't realize I needed, you know.
Definitely. That was the metal tour of the year. Shout out. That was a sick show.
Negative.
It's been nice. Nice to just hit stuff again, man. Like it was a rough time without the shows. It's definitely for me a vital part, I feel like, of life. It's fun.
Yeah.
Having loud amps in the face.
Loud amps in the face, man.
Hey,
I need a prescription of that.
I gotta say, my ears were ringing for 2 days after the last show.
I was right there with you.
I had a small. I had some tinnitus going on. My ears. I just had a continuous ringing for 48 hours. That's some good loud amps in the face right there.
Straight up. I missed it in my life a lot. Just a way to release, you know. We can't go to the show. You just sit there and you listen to it in your headphones. It's just not the same.
Yeah,
it isn't, man. Get a drink, freaking, like I said, buy a shirt, buy something that you get to remember and like support the band and smoke a joint and hit a pen, whatever, man. It's just a cool way to hang out with people who are, it's like, say with a band like Gate Creeper, it's like, hey, according to Spotify, there's 159,000 monthly listeners. It's like, hey, we're one of 159,000 people in the world.
Yeah.
So it's
you know
cool.
what? Hey, a little off topic. We got to start a petition to get venues to start letting you in and out because I can't get over that. I cannot get over that.
Letting you in and out of the place, like
letting you in and out, re-entry.
Yeah, my first experience with that was when I hit a show in the LA area to see Obituary, Municipal Waste, Gate Creeper, Enforced, and man, like it was so cool because I took my girl to her first show and. Between every set, it's like, all right, let's go smoke a blunt, man. We got some time, and it was cool. It opened my eyes, and now that we've gone to another place, it's a game changer, especially on like kind of off bills where sometimes not everything's going to be right for your ear, so you might not like every artist you see live that's on a bill, and it's kind of cool to be able to just have that option where it's like, I'm always going to give you a song or two chance, but if I'm not feeling it, I'm not feeling it,
100%. Everybody's got their taste,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hate on it, but you don't got to listen to it.
To see, was it at Mayhem Festival where Mastodon opened the main stage? And this is when we were young and naive.
Yeah. Shout out Mastodon.
Razor's wearing Razor. His name's Ramon, but we call him Razor around here. They opened the main stage, and I'm like, what is this garbage? And if I could go back and see that old self, I would kick that guy right in the teeth.
Yeah, and I remember thinking the same thing. Here. And not only that, but like Mastodon, I don't feel like, especially for somebody who doesn't know them, I don't think they're the greatest band as far as like an outdoors band, if that makes sense.
Agree. I agree.
They're definitely, the times that I've seen them, they're great in an intimate setting. Not to say that they're bad, it's just when for someone who doesn't know, if you don't know about the band, and at this time I want to listen to some of the more heavier shit, and obviously they're a little more melodic and they're more recent stuff they play, but dude, they're one of my favorite bands to see live because they always play well, and all four of those guys in the band are freaking surgeons at their instrument and can bring something to the table on vocals.
And they all sing. The most impressive thing, one of the most impressive things I've seen at a concert is Bran. Is it Bran? The drummer?
Braun Taylor.
Braun. You're seeing him drum and just belt out. Not even belt out because it's just this. He's got this smooth ass voice while he's drumming. It's pretty fucking nuts.
I can see the way.
Dude, they're a great band live. Brent and why can't I think of his name? Bill. Brent and Bill.
And Troy.
Those are some freaking beasts on guitar, man.
Monsters.
And
Troy puts on a show too.
They're a band where like I'll see them live, like whether some of their new stuff hasn't grabbed me as some of their other stuff. I would love to go see them live because that's a good way to connect sometimes. Just hear a song live and you're like, oh shit, like that's pretty okay, I get it now a little more. So I want to be able to reconnect with that band there because they've got some of that freaking great early 2000s metal.
Anytime I've listened or went from either seeing a band for the first time live and then listening to it I'm like, oh yeah, it's way better live, or vice versa. Hearing something on Spotify and then going to watch them live, you're like, holy shit, this is how this is it. This is how it should be.
I'm glad you say that because if you have a favorite song, if you have like this favorite riff or anything that you like to hear in your headphones, I can assure you, if you see it played live
Yes.
with your own two eyes and feeling the amp and the energy and just the crowd around you, it'll be 100 times better.
Dude,
Just belting out.
Yeah,
just going to shows, you have these like certain moments, and one moment that I will never forget, one of my favorite live music moments, Brad was there, was seeing Slayer at the Bill Graham Civic Auditorium, and like being on the balcony watching them play Dead Skin Mask, like just the vibe, the
every
freaking
hair
music,
on my body just stood up, bro. Oh my
the
god,
way the lights were, to be able to see the mosh pit from like above, like kind of to just, it was like seeing like a bigger picture of the song.
You really took it in.
And it just created like, just, it created a moment, that music created a moment. And it was, I will never forget that, man. Every time I hear Dead Skin Mask in my earphones, I could close my eyes and I'm back in that moment.
You know,
something I've always wanted to do is just watch music from the rafters, you know?
Yeah.
And no one was up there. It was just me and Al. Like, that was it.
Yeah, everyone's moshing, being a wild person.
You know what? I think that I would say that one of those moments was created at this last show. This last show during Body Snatcher.
No, we haven't seen Body Snatcher yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. My phone. I had it. But yeah, while we were watching 200 Stab Wounds, or I'm sorry, Gate Creeper. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm a little high. We were watching Gate Creeper. Somebody got knocked the hell out in the pit. Somebody went out after the set or after the song. They had to stop, turn on the lights, just dragging him across the floor. I was like, you know what? That's something I'm not forgetting for a while.
You don't see it too often at a small show, but
I don't know if he got slammed on the floor or if he got hit, but man, that guy was out for a few minutes.
It was pretty flat out.
That's what was funny about, like, you know, it being a smaller venue where there's like one security guard. It's like that place is so unprepared for something like that.
Oh yeah, they're hoping for the best every time they have a show there.
It took
please don't get sued.
Yeah, it took a couple minutes for the security guard to come sprinting up. It was a dope venue. That's how I like it. Small and freaking chaos.
That's what's cool, man, about this genre. Like I said, it's tight knit. Like, everyone there was super respectful. Everyone's there to see the same shit that we're trying to see, and it's a good time, man. That's why, you know, starting this show is just to put those good metal vibes out there, to be able to connect with people who, you know, no matter what degree of metal they like. Like, don't let me fool you. As much as I love death metal and, you know, dabbled in the black metal and all kinds of metal, really, like, my roots are in freaking new metal. I love Slipknot and Deftones, but, you know, just because you like those more popular bands doesn't mean that you could, you know, not like the other stuff. You're gonna like what you start with.
And let's be real. I mean, they're popular for a reason. You know.
Yeah.
They got big for a reason. They got a great sound. You know, they might not be as heavy as you think, but you don't gotta hate something like that to like something as heavy as 200 Stab Wounds and, you know, Gate Creeper. You know, it's a different sound. You know,
you can't hate on these more accessible bands, because at the end of the day, some kid who's really digging Bring Me the Horizon right now, at some point, you know, when they're going to go back to that more deathcore or even, you know, their more metalcore sounds. And that's going to bring somebody to, you know, a Suicide Silence or that era of deathcore. So, and then from there, they're going to see guys wearing Cannibal Corpse shirts. It's all, you know, you don't just start listening to Cannibal Corpse. So most people, you know, hear something and work their way up to that. Yeah, definitely.
It's like an IPA, you know? It's like a double IPA. You start off with a Coors Light, and you work your way up to a fucking
space
haze, double IPA.
A space dust.
Space dust.
as the saying goes, Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't. I don't even know how I got to Cannibal Corpse, honestly. I feel like it's through the roots of Whitechapel, which would obviously probably make sense.
Yeah, that deathcore, where there obviously there's death metal influences, and I think the way I got to Cannibal Corpse was actually the Ace Ventura scene. I remember seeing that and like, oh, okay.
What is this?
Absolutely. And like
was
that's
it Hammer
where
Smash
it got
Face?
and Barnes is in the band at that time, and like I didn't grab onto it at first, obviously, but it was like as I got more into metal, and you start looking up, metal and mainstream, and that's something that I remember seeing, and then from there get into some Evisceration Plague, and it's everyone starts somewhere, and that's what's fun about metal. It's a journey, man.
Yeah, it's a huge journey. Like I said, I mean, what got me into metal is Mastodon, and now some of my favorite bands like Body Snatcher, 200 Stab Wounds, Gate Creeper. I mean, sonically that's a huge difference,
Yeah, definitely.
And it's it's all in the metal genre, but it's such a huge difference in sound.
I used to to try to call it metal. I just at this point I think it's just heavy music, because it's so hard to put an umbrella under things, because it's like, how do you tell somebody that Baroness and Dying
metal?
Fetus are metal? You know what I mean? It's like, okay, there's different levels and different things, and some stuff is gonna be well received better than others. You gotta have thick skin.
And you know what? It's funny meeting like legit like metalheads, seeing like what their taste in music is. Like you might be similar in terms of like a band or two, but they just splice off in so many different directions once you get away from the core of what you both like. Like we went to go watch Gate Creeper. Somebody might like Gate Creeper, but there was also like some alternative bands there, and they might like some obscure shit, versus something me. I'm caveman. I like something fucking
you're very one way.
You like the slow and low with the breakdowns,
There we go.
I like that too.
Al's the most diverse, and then I sprinkle a little bit of everything.
Yeah. I definitely delve into the more underground stuff, just because I want some of these bands that are headliners or whatever are getting older, and other bands need to take those places, because at the end of the day, like, we still got to have Download Fest, we still got to have Hellfest, these sick festivals. So in order to keep them going, everybody kind of has to go up the ladder.
We gotta go to shows, man. The fans gotta show up. The bands gotta put on the tour. We gotta go. That's where it all starts, man.
I agree. And what we'll end on this note is I'm gonna go to both of you guys and then come back around to myself. But as you want, somebody comes up to you in your life and they say, "Hey, I want to know, what's this metal stuff? Like, what do you like? What is it? What is it about? What is the song that you're gonna take them to?" I'll start with you, Brad.
I think I've told you this before, but it's "Walk" by Pantera. It's
excellent choice.
It's just one of those riffs that's burning. It'll burn in your brain. When you hear it anywhere, you'll be like, "I know what the fuck that is. That's Walk."
Man.
And it's just one of those songs. It's Dimebag, and man, Dead People music hit different for sure. And he's the greatest guitarist ever. So that song right there will definitely get anyone's attention. One example I could give you is my fellow coworker, Mr. Prado. He's a big rap guy. I was playing Walk one time, and he's like, "What is that? It sounds so cool."
You can't deny that
riff there.
The guy sounds like 7 guitars.
And that's
fucking Daryl. And so when he told me that, I knew that's just the gateway song. If I'm going to show anyone, or if someone asks me about metal, I'm like, that's metal right there. Walk.
Makes sense. What about you over here, Razor Ramon? What do you think?
That right there was probably the best answer anybody can give.
I agree. That's a good one.
But you know what? I'll probably have to say, I want to say the song that really got me into metal, "Tread Lightly" by Mastodon. Tread Lightly, something off of maybe Once More Around the Sun. I think it's just it's not too overbearing on on somebody that doesn't listen to stuff like that on their ears, and it's got some great like melodic singing. Plus, Troy gets a little heavy in there sometimes. So I think it's a good. It'll be good on the ears. It's not too crazy.
Easy listening. At the end of the day, you're starting them off right, reeling them in.
Yeah.
And the song I go to, I feel like a good gateway song is "Blind" by Korn. I feel like it's heavy enough. It's
very catchy.
It's got like this like hoppiness to it where you hear it like you're gonna be shaking your head, and then it's an electric song, man. I feel like
it's got the same same thing that Walk does. That like it's catchy, it's heavy. It really catches your ear.
And it goes in different ways, and it could like scare you off one moment, and you're like, okay. It's got that kind of breakdown at the end. I think that's a good place to start for somebody who has no frame of reference for metal. But I mean, both your guys' picks too. I think it's there's a level of catchiness you gotta show somebody, and then there's also just musicianship that you're like, all right, like whoever's making that noise, they know what the hell they're doing.
Exactly. I could not disagree with that.
All right, you guys, that concludes episode 1 of Metal Gets Me High.
Thank you, guys.